and welcome back to another episode of Masked Monologues. Today I have with me Brian, and he is a singer songwriter and an actor. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself, Brian?
Hello, guys. I'm Brian Gazmen, and I'm a singer, songwriter, as she said, and I'm an actor too. Originally from the Philippines.
Wow, that's wonderful. Can you tell us how long you've been doing singing, songwriting, and acting for?
I've been acting since 2016 to the present, and I've been singing since I was 8, but like professionally singing 2018.
Wow. Can you tell us how you got into singing and how you got into acting?
I love singing since I was 8. I was singing my the entire time, and I just grew fond of it, and I loved it. And during 2013, I tried going on a play. Yeah, I tried going on plays, and I tried singing there, and I tried acting there as well. And I've grew fond with acting. So when I saw that I wanted to act, I knew that it's my passion. And so I did it. And going back to 2016, I got in like a popular company. It's called ABS-CBN, which is like a big company in the Philippines where we
Mhm.
produce music and movies as well, and TV series.
Wow, that's wonderful. Did you by any chance have anyone in your family that had any background in music or acting? Or was it something completely different you decided to test out on your own?
Like my family, not really, but like a cousin of my mom is an actor, and my mom can sing too. So as much as like her father as well, a really good
Mhm.
singer. So I got them. I think I got the music in me because of my mother
Wow.
and my grandfather.
So music was more part of your home and did you do any formal training for music or acting?
For music and acting, I did a lot of workshops. For
Mhm.
music, I did self-taught with guitar, with playing the guitar and making music itself. But
Mhm.
in singing wise, I did some workshops because I wanted to improve and improve. Because
Yeah.
once, like in life, not just like in music or like in
Mhm.
acting, you don't stop learning. So I always learn because it makes you better, and every single time there's a lot of changes. So you gotta live in the moment, and you gotta learn.
No, I love that continuous learning. Do you have any tips for anyone who might want to be a singer or an actor, how they can find resources to learn?
Uh-huh. So basically, with if you want to learn how to play the guitar and stuff like that, I don't know if you can do it because for me, I self-taught myself. Like I taught myself how to play it by because like apparently some can learn from YouTube and by ear.
Mhm.
I didn't learn by ear though, but I learned by watching. And people
YouTube.
can do that, but sometimes you need someone to make you teach you how to do it. But all I'm saying is that if it's your passion, if it's what you love to do, then go for it. Because for me, because my perspective in life is that
Mhm.
if you love what you do, you will never feel that you're working.
Yes.
Like when I was acting and singing, I never felt that I was working because it was
Mhm.
my passion. It was something that I love to do. And you only live once. If you get scared or you get scared of all the pressure, then you will regret it in life that why didn't I do it? Like after 10 years, after 20 years, why didn't I do it? And it's too late. So always go for it, go for gold, and just be yourself.
No, I love that message. When your why is so great, why you do music, why you do acting, why you do any creative endeavor you're in, it makes up for all of those inconveniences.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you're feeling down one day and you're feeling lousy, but you still get up because you love doing what you're doing. You love singing, you love acting, you love playing the guitar. And it's always helpful to refer back to that why. So I
Uh-huh.
love what you said about that. You also said that with the guitar, you learned by watching YouTube videos, and you say some people might need someone there to help them out. Do you
Uh-huh.
feel that you were able to self teach yourself or you were able to be self-taught because you had a musical family?
I guess I learned it from my mom, and my mom is really good at playing the piano, but she was taught by our aunt. But the thing is, I think their perspectives, like, for me, I self-taught myself by YouTube. I think not everyone can do that. I got lucky that I can do it, that I just watched it. I just watched a YouTube video and I actually learned from it. I'm not saying that it's something you can do. You can explore by doing that one. Or
Mhm,
if you really can't do it, then there's nothing wrong with getting
mhm.
teach by other people.
Yes. So can you tell us any challenges you faced when you were first starting out in both music and acting, and were there different challenges, or was it similar?
The thing is, I got really pressured at first
Mhm,
because there's a lot of competition. There's a lot of people who's good in singing, good at
mhm,
acting, and really good at everything. But you know what?
mhm,
When I was there, all the veterans or all the people who were there before me who acted, you know what? I learned a lot from them. Every single time I act, there there are people who acted longer than me that,
mhm,
that made me learn from them. It's just really awesome because every time I learn from them, I use it to my different scenes, to
mhm,
different acting, to different TV series, to different movies. And every single time I learn from that, I think I've become better and
mhm.
better.
Yeah.
And it really humbled me because you know what? In acting too, and in music too, you never stop learning.
I've noticed sometimes with musicians that are also actors, it feels as though their music is the outlet where they can be themselves, and then
Hmm.
acting is where they can take on a different persona. Do you think that's applicable to you?
That is true, but somehow, sometimes, because it depends on your character. You know what I mean? Because I did a lot of movies and series before that is applicable to the music that I make. Sometimes it's romantic, because
Mhm,
usually I make romantic music. I do like pop romantic
mhm,
music because it's all about my own experience. But sometimes when I act, I go with a character. So
mhm,
basically, there are days that I would just close the room and be in the character, be in the moment. I need to know what this character would do if this scene happens. I need to know when this happens, what will the character do?
mhm.
Because on those 2 days, when I open the door, when I open my room, I'm a different person. I will be the character.
Yeah.
Because in that 2 days, I'm not Brian, but I'm the character. So that's difference. That's the difference with my music and my acting. It depends on the character that I portray.
So, when you're getting ready to go on set for a film, do you spend days before that just envisioning yourself as the character, or can you walk me through the filmmaking process and how you analyze that character?
That's a good question, actually. So there are two things that I do. There are days that I will envision it. As I mentioned, like you have to give me like a week or 2 days or three
Mhm,
days to envision it. I will just be stuck in one room and I would think about the character. I would think about how the character acts so that after I leave the room, I'm a different person. I'm not Brian because I'm a method actor. So I want to be the character. How the character works, you should be in the moment where you are the character. So whenever I go on set, I'm a different person.
yes. And when you're becoming that character, how do you make up those scenes? Do you take scenes from the script, or do you make up your own scenes, or how do you go about that?
So for that, it depends. Honestly, it depends. Because so here's one thing that you don't know about. You don't actually know in acting and in series and TVs. So there are people who writes the scripts, right? Apparently, there are people who wants to go by the script word per
Mhm,
word because it goes like respect for the
yeah.
writer. But there are times that it's okay for the writer that you could make your own thing, but it should be like the same thing. Like it should be the same,
Similar.
similar with what it's saying. With that, I like it that way. Then
Mhm.
by the script because I can play around with the words that I'm gonna
Yes.
say and I can be myself.
And have there been times where you've deviated from using the script, where you've basically done your own interpretation of it, or you've added in a couple of words?
So I did a lot of playing around with the script
Mhm,
if it entails that you could because sometimes the director would say, you know what, play around with the script, just do your interpretation because
mhm,
it's better that way because it's I think it gives more justice with your emotions because you're the one who's
mhm.
saying it, you're the one who made
Yeah.
it. But it's the same thing with the script itself, but you just played around with it.
Mhm. And when you do your acting and your songwriting and your music, is your acting separate from your music, or do you use your songs in the TV series or the films that you're acting in?
Oh, there are some movies that they use my own songs, and there are
Mhm.
some movies that are do that we use different songs. It depends on what movie because sometimes there are times that you make music, but it's not really good for the.
Yeah, it doesn't suit the
It
scene.
doesn't suit the scene or it doesn't suit anything. Like you put a pop if it's like a scary scene, but
That's not gonna work.
yeah, it's not gonna work. So because usually I make romantic music, and so yeah, we used one of the song like a
Mm,
couple of songs of mine now in movies.
yeah. Can you tell me about what type of movies you're usually in? Is there a specific category that you like to stick to, or are you open to experimenting in any type of movie?
For me, I'm open to opening myself with a lot of I wanna be a versatile actor. I just don't
Yeah.
wanna be stuck on just one. But usually
Mhm.
they always make me do romance, apparently.
Uh-huh.
I don't know, they make me do romance, like, most of the time, or when I was younger, they would make me do, like, action movies.
Yes.
So I did action and romance, but I wanna explore more. But not just that, I wanna play another character, I wanna play a crazy character, I wanna play all the types of character because at the end of the day, you get older and you get more wiser with everything, and if you're
Mhm.
versatile enough that you've experienced all those characters, you can
Mhm.
teach the other new aspiring actors who wants to be the best actor they wanna be.
Yes. And do you feel as though when you're acting, there's a huge community there to help you? And do you find the same in the music industry when you're writing songs? Do you have producers that you work with or songwriters? Or how do you go about writing your songs?
For me, all the songs that I like most of the songs that I released on Spotify and all those platforms, I wrote it myself because I want it to be raw. Because I want to tell my own story. Or sometimes I get it
Mm-hmm.
by what helps me. Sometimes there's movies that I do
Yeah.
that I use those stories to make a song. And sometimes I use stories from my friends, stories from other people
Mm-hmm.
that inspires me, and then I make it into the song, and it's crazy because the saying, a good singer should be a good storyteller.
Yes.
Because if you're
No,
not if you're not a good storyteller as a singer, how would your
audience.
audience
Yeah.
feel it?
Yeah. I completely agree with that. There's so many vocalists I find where they're so caught up in the technicalities of singing,
Mhm.
like how many scales they can do, what's the range, how they can add as many runs or riffs as possible into their
Yeah.
song. But then you go back and is it connecting or is it just excessive? Is it too much? You want it to be raw and connect. And sometimes you don't need all of those vocal acrobatics to convey your message.
Yeah. Because oh, sorry
Oh,
about that.
sorry. No, go ahead.
No, because I've been singing my entire life, and I've been in the industry for such a not that long time. Is 8 years a long time? I've been there for almost a decade. And whenever do you feel it sometimes if the singer is a good storyteller, you get you get chills and stuff like that? Those are the singers that I look up to because
Mhm,
oh man, it may be it may feel in awe. I'm in awe.
mhm.
I feel every word that they're saying. And that's
Yes.
the kind of musician I want to be.
And sometimes I find that with singers, it depends on the song you're singing. So there'll be some songs that just will not fit a singer, and you'll think, "Oh, they're a terrible singer," but then you'll give them another song and it will be amazing. And I
Yeah.
think if you're in a studio or you're working with a music producer and you're trying a song and it's not working, then maybe try a different song or try a different mood and don't just immediately think, "Oh, I'm terrible."
Yeah, I totally get you. So
Yeah.
yeah, it depends on the singer because there's a certain repertoire or a certain genre that they're good at, but it also depends on the actors, the singer's experience. Because there's a song actually in my head right now that I always sing right now because I really
Mhm,
miss my grandma. Because when
mhm,
she passed away, because she's the one who really believed in me before. There was a stigma of mine when I was younger that, oh no, that I felt that please don't leave me.
yeah,
Please. And I always thought that she will be there forever, but
mhm,
she's there. But
just different.
it's called Supermarket Flowers. I don't know if you know that song by Ed
Oh,
Sheeran.
Ed Sheeran, yes.
Yeah, it really
Uh-huh. That one
it
hurt.
makes me cry for it makes me
Yeah,
cry whenever I sing that song.
yes. That one's amazing. No, I love that song. I love Ed Sheeran's songs, amazing songwriter.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, so with that being said, when you're acting, it's completely different because you have to take on this other character. And do you feel as though that there's characters that you resonate with more than others?
Uh-huh. Definitely, definitely. Because each character has a different story. Each
Mhm,
character has a different like stigma. Each character has a different attack on 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 each thing that they do.
mhm.
But there are some characters that resonates with the way I make my music because
Yeah.
there are experiences that I faced that are similar to some of the characters that I portrayed, but there are characters that are really far from what I've
Mhm.
experienced. So what I do, I don't know if it's crazy, but I would sometimes want to experience it myself first. Like
Mhm.
I would try to experience it, or if I could experience it, if not, if I couldn't experience it, then I needed to be stuck in
Yeah.
one room and just envision every single
Uh-huh.
moment.
Can you give us an example of a character that you've had to play and you've thought to yourself, "I'm not like this person at all. I don't
Yeah.
understand."
I actually did. I did a character. So I'm in a gang. I've never been in a gang. I've never been in a gang. I don't know how they act. I don't know how they. You know what I did? So experience. I went to. I don't know if it's crazy or not, but because when I watch, I tried watching like gangs and like YouTube and
Yes.
movies and stuff like that, but it's not
Mhm,
really helping me. So
mhm.
I went to jail.
Wow.
No, I didn't. I didn't go.
Yeah, you just
I just
went
looked at
and did it?
them. I
Uh-huh.
just look at them, how they do it. I want to be a good actor. And
Yes.
being a good actor, you need to know what they do. Like literally
Mhm.
what they do, like when they're in jail, when they're doing these things. Cause yeah,
You
I don't know
need
if
to
it's
observe.
I don't know if it's crazy, but I did it.
Yes.
I even talked to some of them.
Uh-huh. And did you just observe the way that they talked, observe the way that they walked, what they did, and how they conducted themselves?
Uh-huh. It's really good because at the end of the day, it helped me. It
Yes.
made me do a good acting, like good acting
Uh-huh. A
in the
good
movie that I
job.
did. A good job. Cause the director got shocked that I could do it. They didn't know that I could do it, but
Yeah.
they got shocked on my nuances, my acting, my how
Mhm.
I move. I move like a gangster.
Yeah. No, that's a crazy story. I love that. And for for anyone else out there, would you say that there's other ways you can find inspiration or how you can replicate a character? Would you suggest looking at YouTube videos? Has that ever been helpful for you? Or would you just say go out there and experience it in real life?
As I've said a while ago, the character that I told you about, sometimes YouTube helps, but it's really different if you experienced it, if you saw it in person. Because if you saw it in person, literally what they do every
Mm-hmm.
single time. Like I was there for 2 hours, an hour or two, and I've seen everything that they do. And that's called method acting. Method acting
Hmm.
is the kind of acting where you be in the character. You're the character. So
Yes.
whenever I do movies, I am the character. I'm so quiet. I'm really quiet on set. because I want to be in the zone,
Uh-huh.
in the
Yes.
movie. I'm the character.
Can you tell us what being on set is like? Are you able to talk with your fellow actors and actresses, or is it a fun experience, or is it stressful?
To be honest, it's not just on set or but in life. You meet people you vibe with. You meet
Yes.
people you don't vibe with. You
Mhm.
meet people who are really rude, who are nice. So it's a mix of a lot of things because whenever I go on set, sometimes you meet people who's not really good and who's not nice to
Yeah.
you. But you gotta adjust because all I'm saying is that whatever you do to certain people, it will be back to you. Like it would you would
Yeah.
get it back to you.
Karma.
So like a karma. So
Uh-huh.
I'm always nice to my fellow actors, to anyone, like
Mhm.
even the employees or the crew members, the cat.
Yes.
Because at the end of the day, I feel like it will go back to you. It will be a good karma for you if you're so nice, and they'll be nice to you in the future.
I know. It's amazing how far kindness can go and just being kind to someone else. You don't know what situation somebody else is in, and they might just need that bit of kindness or just be courteous.
When you messaged me, honestly, I loved it because honestly, the people nowadays judge you, but they don't really know you.
Yes.
And I love podcasts because I can be myself. I don't have any
Mhm.
script.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a gist of what you're gonna ask, but I don't have a script on what to answer.
No.
It's just me myself. It's like how I view things, how I do things, and I love podcasts because I'm just myself. At least people would know my
Your
own side,
story.
like my
Uh-huh.
story, my own thing. And podcast helps because they only see you on movies, series,
Mhm.
that's all scripted.
Yes.
And it
Mhm.
makes you human as well. You know what I
I know.
mean? Yeah.
I know exactly what you mean. I've been interviewing a couple of people for my podcast, and going into it, I never know who I'm going to be talking to or who's going to be on the other end. And when you look at someone's Instagram profile or you read through their websites, you don't exactly know who they are. You get an idea, but it's never the same as actually talking to them.
Uh-huh. Yeah. That's
And
why
so,
when you introduce the podcast, you know what? Let's do it.
yeah. No, I love that. You seem to have that attitude when it goes into acting and also music and singing songwriting is let's just do it or let's test this. Do you believe that's one of the reasons that you've been able to get to where you are today?
For me, although people are saying that I reach a lot of things, I reach like achievements and stuff like that, but that doesn't make me who I am. Yeah, it doesn't define me because, like in life, your grades doesn't define you. Your like your grades, your achievements doesn't define you. But the thing that define you as a person are all the experience you've experienced.
Yes.
And all the time, the mindset that I've been in never change, and always thank the people who help you from the beginning because
Mhm.
be humble, always.
Mhm.
And
Yes.
every time I go on stage and then every time I see my fans smiling, those are the people who I love, who made me who I am.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're from the Philippines, so
Uh-huh.
do you see a difference between movies that are created in the Philippines and what's been streaming in the mainstream media in North America?
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. What's funny? Every time they ask that, I don't know how to explain this. In certain movies, you have a tandem, like a partner. If it's a romance, there's like a partnership, like a girl and a boy. In
Yeah.
America or like internationally, they partner different sets, right? Different kind of
Yes.
people. When I was in Philippines, there's this stigma that it's called love team. I don't know if you know that, but it's called love team, where they would be partnered like in how many years? For how many years?
Yeah.
It's a stigma where I could name you some of the actors that I know. You're not gonna know who they are, but Team Bernardo and Daniel, but they partner for 11 years as an on-screen partner.
Yes.
So there's a
So it,
yeah, there's a stigma in the Philippines where you get on-screen partner for a couple of years, 5 years, 8 years, 10 years.
It's like a long-term partnership as opposed to a
Uh-huh,
short-term partnership?
and you know what happens? They get developed and they fall in love. But not I'm not generalizing everything, but usually it
Yes,
happens because
that way.
yeah, because you get partnered all the time. So
Yeah.
yeah,
So in the Philippines, is that most of the times there'll be an actor and actress, and they'll be partnered together, and it will be for most of.
usually, but I didn't pick that way because I wanted to be a versatile actor. I want to
Yes.
explore a lot of because if you get stuck in a love team or if you get stuck in a partnership, you're always gonna
Mhm.
do romance, always romance acting. You're gonna be stuck. I don't
And
want
you're
to be
gonna be
stuck.
the focal point of that because it's like the duo, right?
Yeah, yeah. Which it makes you who you are now, like duo. And if you separate, they won't know
Then
you because
your audience.
yeah, you might lose your audience.
Yeah. No, yeah, I can see that from that point of view where in America, it seems as though, every actress or every actor, they'll be paired up with a different actor or actress, and then they'll switch for every movie, and it's not consistent. But it seems like in the Philippines, it is. I
It's
haven't
consistent,
watched
yeah.
any films made in the Philippines, but it's always nice to see just the difference because I'm from North America and just to see what the media is presenting.
Uh-huh.
Yes. Can you tell us a little bit about how you create your music? Do you start off with a guitar or do you start off with vocals or do you start writing lyrics or can you tell me about your process?
Bro, I always make the beat first. But then I don't know. I just every time I don't make a concept. I don't make a concept. But every time it
It
just
comes.
flows with me. It comes to me. And when it comes to me, it's really amazing because I know I experienced it or or like my friends experienced it or anyone experienced it that I know of.
Yeah.
And it's amazing because I make the concept after listening to the beat. I make the lyrics after the beat and it just goes to the flow.
Yes. And do you do the music production by yourself then?
I make the music production and stuff too.
The beats?
Get the
And do you
beats.
do that in like a DAW? And how did you go about learning how to use, I guess, music production software?
What's funny? I just played with it. Yeah, everyone.
Do you
I just played with it. So I make. So what I do, I get inspiration by getting beats online.
Mhm.
Then after
And just
getting
samples?
getting samples, and then I make my own beat after that because
Mhm,
I just wanted that sound. So I make
mhm.
my own sound, like
Yeah. Are you
develop.
want to download a whole bunch of VST plugins and then start testing with an EQ or compression and just, play around with it for hours?
I like it. You know your music, huh? Nowadays, you don't need such beats because back in the day, you need your guitar, you need everything, you need a
Mhm.
beat maker to make your music. But now, and I think you just need a laptop, make a snare, make the beat,
Uh-huh.
make the bass. That's
Yes.
just what I do, and then I just play with it.
I was actually at the airport the other day, and I saw this girl, she was on her computer, and she was just in her DAW writing a song or making a beat, and I'm like, "Oh, yeah, that's how cool I." And
Yeah.
yeah, you can go anywhere and do it, and I love that nowadays because if you look back on music when it was created
Oh
maybe
my
about
goodness, like
30.
80s, 90s. Oh my goodness.
Yes,
Remember
you
back in
need
the day,
uh-huh,
back in the day, you would rewind the tape. You had to you rewind the tape every single time and make a new tape.
uh-huh,
That's oh my goodness, way back in the 80s and
yes,
70s, 90s. Oh my goodness, I don't know how they made their music.
no,
And
and
there's
it's
no
so
auto tune. There's no
expensive.
yeah, and there's no auto tune. There's nothing. So it's pure talent. Like
Mhm.
all the bands that were before, like the Bee Gees. Oh my goodness, they're so good.
No. I know, it's incredible just to see how they did that, and now we have so many tools and resources. It's why aren't you following your passions? Why aren't you pursuing your dreams?
Yeah, anyone can make music now.
Yeah, and with acting, do you feel as though that's harder to break into because anyone can make music, but is acting more competitive, or is it more difficult to step into the door?
Acting and singing are
Mhm.
are different things, but there's one thing in common: a lot of competition, a
Yes.
lot of competition. And you know what's pressured? What's the pressure in both? Both you get judged by the audience.
Yes.
If you flop a song, if you don't make it good, they're gonna judge
Mhm.
you. If you make it good, they're still gonna judge you. You know, in acting too, if you were
Yeah.
you were a bad actor, you're good. They're gonna judge you. If you're a good actor, they're
Mhm.
still gonna judge you because you know
Yes.
what, you can never please anyone,
As long
everyone.
as you
Yeah,
give credit.
yeah. And people sometimes they're jealous of you.
You're not talented, it's just the auto tune or you're
Yeah,
not this, it's that,
but
it's
like me, what I'm saying, whatever. I don't have to prove myself to you. I'm
yeah.
making music and I'm acting because I loved acting and music. Before it really bugs me out, like all the audience, because I was young and I wanted to please everyone. But then I learned, yeah, you can never please everyone.
Yes. Yeah. Okay, so on that note, I'm going to wrap up with this podcast episode. So if you'd like to tell us where we can find your movies, find your music, or if you have a website, we'd love to hear it.
My movies are, if you search my name, the movies will pop up, like will all pop up. But I guess my movies are in Netflix, but not in because there are different
Mhm.
sets of Netflix, right? Netflix America,
Yes.
Netflix. Maybe it's net in Netflix Philippines, but then some you can just watch on sites.
Mhm.
But so my music, on the other hand, you can stream it on Spotify, Apple Music, all digital music platforms, and you can find my Instagram or my social media accounts on TikTok at Brian Gazmen, and Instagram Brian_Gazmen, and my Facebook page is at Brian Gazmen too. But yeah,
Okay, thank you so much. And if you listeners like this podcast and you want more episodes, please share or share with a family member or friend. Thank you
of
so
course.
much.
Thank you too. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure.
It's
I
my
always want to help some
yeah.
podcasts too.
Thank you.
You're welcome.